Hey guys, my name is MJ. Welcome to our yoga class for this week. Please remember to take it at your own pace. You can always pause or stop the video, spend more time in certain poses, or come back to it whenever you're ready. I suggest having a blanket if you have sensitive knees and some blocks for support. Have some water handy, and remember, you don't need a mat to practice, but sometimes it may make it a little more comfortable or stable. Please enjoy. Namaste. We start our class today in child's pose. Bring your big toes together and knees out as wide as it's comfortable for your body. Bring your palms down to the ground and slowly bring the forehead down. If you need to support the body, you can always place a block under the chest or a block under the forehead. Let the arms extend forwards, but the shoulders come back into the sockets, and start to pull the front of the breastplate forwards towards the thumbs. Let your bum get nice and heavy. Nestle down towards the heels. Move into your breath. You can move into Ujjayi breath, which is dragging the air in and out of the nose, or take natural breathing if that's better for you. If taking Ujjayi breath, think of a whispering sound as you drag the air to the back of the skull. When you're ready, bring yourself up to a tabletop position, hands and knees, hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. First of all, inhale, lift the chest for cow pose. As you exhale, dome the spine for cat pose. Inhale for cow, lift the biceps, spread the collarbones. Exhale for cat as an option to come up onto the fingertips. Continue this as you inhale for cow, extending and opening the front of the spine. As you exhale for cat, flexing, opening the back of the spine. Good, taking your time. Slowly lifting up and slowly doming. Think of wrapping the ribs in, pulling the navel to spine. Take this as many times as you like. You can always take a few extra twists to the side or lean to the opposite side, whatever feels good for your body. The wrist creases are parallel to the top of the mat. The fingers are spread wide. Inhale, lift the left arm towards the ceiling. And the exhale, thread the arm over to the right side, bringing the ear and shoulder down to the mat. Have an option to extend the right arm forwards or even bind it to the sacrum, the middle of the back, or the left hip crease. Also an option to bring the hips back down towards the heels, taking a slightly deeper stretch. The left palm can either be face up or face down. And again, if you'd like to extend the right arm or bind it, find what's most comfortable for your body here, spending a few breaths. And when you're ready, the right hand will come back to the ground. Press it beneath the shoulder. Slowly lift yourself back up, lifting the left hand to the ceiling again. And release the left palm to the ground. As you inhale, now lift the right hand to the ceiling, threading the right arm over to the left side. Again, the hips can stay up high, or you're welcome to bring the hips down towards the heels. Always the same option to either extend the left arm forwards or to bind it to the back. Noticing how the body's moving in space. Side the hips may be tilted a little further forwards than the other. Find what's best for each side of the body, and it may be different for one side compared to the other. And when you are ready, bring the left palm back to the ground. Lifting yourself back up again, right hand lifts to the ceiling on an inhale breath. And place the right palm down. Wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat. Good. Dome the spine for cat pose. Again, lift the biceps up, cow pose. Exhale as you dome cat. Bring the toes, tuck them forwards. Moving into a hovering tabletop position, the knees lift an inch or two off the ground, stabilizing through the outer hips, the ribs, and the navel turning up and in. Keeping the hips in line with the shoulders. With stability, step the legs back to a high plank pose. Pressing the heels behind you, quads towards the ceiling. The front of the breastplate pulls forwards through the biceps, hugging the triceps in. The navel supports. You're always welcome to come down onto the forearms or bring the knees to the ground. If you are on the forearms, again, elbows this time beneath the shoulders, otherwise wrists beneath the shoulders. Strong and stable through the entire body. And pressing back to a downward facing dog on an exhale breath. As you bend the right knee, sink the left heel. Take this a couple of times to each side, bending one leg, then the other. Always welcome to take a wider stance if you're a little bit tighter in the back line of the body, maybe bringing the hands just a little bit wider, the feet a little bit wider as well. Taking some movement that's suitable for your body here, maybe bending the knees, moving the pelvis, hips, shoulders. And when you're ready, finding the living stillness of the pose, as you may need to soften the knees, lifting the hamstrings up, using the strong thighs, pull your hips back away from the wrists. Hugging the upper arm bones in towards the ears. And slowly taking your time, just step the feet towards the top of the mat. If you can, heel, ball, toe the feet all the way to the top. The feet coming to a hip width distance into a deep forward fold, into ragdoll pose, Uttanasana. You're welcome here to grab opposite elbows or maybe interlace the hands at the back of the neck. Bending the knees considerably, the weight shifts forwards into the shins. Letting the head and shoulders be nice and heavy and relaxed to traction the spine. Another option is to interlace the hands at the lower back, clasping the fingers, bending the elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades back behind you, keeping the elbows bent so the stretch is in the shoulders rather than the elbows. Make sure to take the awkward grip, swapping the fingers over a space. If you are binding the elbows, make sure to grab the opposite elbow on top as well. The hamstring continue to lift up, the calves press down. When you're ready, release your hands to the ground. Inhale to a halfway lift, lifting the hamstrings, pull the chest forward, spread the collarbones. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Navel is in, calves press down, glutes are on. Inhale, stand all the way up to a mountain pose, outer thighs hug. Exhale, Namaste to here, hands come to heart. Hugging the outer thighs in, press the thigh bones towards the back wall. The inner arch of the feet lift up for our Mula Bandha, our foot lock. The four corners of the feet press down. So really feel the stability coming from the foundation up through the rest of the body. When you're ready, release the arms. And inhale, lift the arms to the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hamstrings lift up to the glutes to fold, bending and folding at the pelvis. Inhale for a halfway lift, breastplate pulls forward, shoulder heads pull back, collarbone spread. Exhale, forward fold. Again, hugging the outer thighs. Inhale, lift all the way up to a mountain pose. Exhale, Namaste to here. Again, thigh bones press back. Inhale, mountain pose, rising all the way up, pelvic floor lifts, navel tones in. Exhale, forward fold. Taking your time through each of the transitions and poses. Inhale to a halfway lift. Again, spread the collarbones, tip further forwards, weights in the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Again, hugging the outer thighs. Inhale, mountain pose, lifting the torso all the way up. Exhale, Namaste to here, standing at attention. Lengthen the tailbone down. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Again, get nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Hamstrings lift, calves and heels press down. Inhale, halfway lift again, open the front of the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. As you bend the knees, pull the shin bones back, weight comes into the heel bones. Lift the navel up away from the pubic bone, begin to wrap the ribs to then lift the ribs away from the navel. Hugging the upper arms in towards the ears. Exhale, fly the arms back behind you as you spread the collarbones, palms face one another. Continue to pull the shins and the hamstrings back and hug the outer glutes in. Inhale, standing all the way up to a one-legged mountain. The left leg lifts, the left toes flex up towards the shin. Hug the outer right glute in, pressing the right quad back and right glute forwards. You can always have the arms lifted to the ceiling, at your heart or at the hips, wherever is more stable for you. Good, keep the pelvis square to the front of the room and slowly bring the knee across the body just a couple of inches and then open it to the left side. Foot stays beneath the knee. Do this a couple of times to the right, hugging the outer right hip in, keeping the right big toe mound grounded and present. And keeping the leg out to the left-hand side, using just the legs, moving into a tree pose. The foot comes to either the inner thigh, the calf, or heel to ankle. Pressing the outer right thigh in. There's an option to lift the arms to the ceiling, even to follow the gaze through the fingers. Pelvis is square to the ground, also the front of the mat. Inhale, one-legged mountain again, lifting the left leg. Finding stability in the outer right hip, exhale, release the foot to the ground, Namaste to here. Inhale to a mountain pose, again getting tall. Exhale, forward fold, hamstrings lift. Inhale, halfway lift, open the front of the spine, hamstrings lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, again bending the knees, hamstrings pull back. Narrow the frontal hip points, hugging the outer glutes in. It's hard to turn on the outer hips, part the knees about 1 centimetre. Exhale, fly the arms behind. Again, keep the collarbones spread, shoulder blades pull back towards one another. Inhale to a one-legged mountain. This time right leg lifts to the ceiling, right toes flex up. Hug the outer left glute in. Press the left quad back, left glute forwards. And again, that option to have the hands wherever it's more suitable for you, more stable. Ground into the left big toe mound, keep the inner arch lifted. Then take the same, bringing the leg across the body a couple of inches, opening it to the side, keeping the pelvis as square as you can to the front of the room, hugging the outer left hip in and grounding into the left big toe. And bring the leg out to the right hand side, moving into a tree pose. Again, the option to keep the foot to the upper thigh, maybe bring it a little lower or down to the calf or the heel. Try different positions each time you move into the pose, just helping the body find stability in all areas. Again, lifting the arms up or keeping them at the heart or at the hips. Inhale, right leg lifts to the ceiling. Exhale, Namaste to here, release the foot to the ground. Inhale, mountain pose, again getting nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, open the front of the spine. And exhale, squat and curl. Come to a little tiny ball. Coming high onto the tiptoes, round the entire spine, thinking of pulling the navel back to the spine. The ribs wrapping back. It's always the option for a little bit of a balance fun. Maybe forearms, one or both come around the shins. Always bring the forehead back down into the knees or close the eyes. Or maybe even hover the hips up above the heels. Hands can come to heart. If you can, bring the head, the skull back on top of the pelvis. When you're ready, the heels come to the ground. Again, making a nice rounded position of the spine. Arms can reach forward for a counterbalance as you sit your hips all the way to the ground. Moving into Navasana, boat pose, the pelvic floor rises all the way up to the face. It's an option to keep the toes on the ground with the hands behind the knees. Maybe lift the feet, release the hands, or lift them all the way up to the ceiling. As you exhale, slowly release all the way down onto your back. Walk the feet back so they're beneath the knees, feet at a hip width distance, parallel to one another. Arms can be down by the sides, or maybe making a little robot arm with the elbows tucking in toward the side waist. As you inhale for Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Slowly articulate the spine from the pelvis up to the shoulders, tucking the triceps beneath you. If you have a bind, you're welcome to interlace the fingers here, remembering which bind you took first, always take the second. Press the shoulder blades up towards the back ribs. And exhale, very slowly release the pelvis back down, articulating the spine. Inhale, slowly lift back up again. Wrap the outer hips up, soften the pubic bone so it drops below the frontal hip points. Pull the front of the shins up and keep the big toe mounds grounded. Again, find space from the low spine up to the shoulders, triceps pressed down. And when you're ready, exhale, slowly release the pelvis back down to the ground. Find that purposeful articulation. When the pelvis is on the ground, bring the legs in towards the chest. Moving into a nice passive happy baby, you can grab the shins or maybe even the back of the thighs at the hamstrings. Knees pull wide towards the underarms. The tailbone presses down and the head pulls away from the hips, keeping the spine nice and long. If you'd like to move into a more active happy baby, maybe lifting the feet towards the ceiling, you can grab the ankles or even the peace fingers grab around the big toes. Again, using the pelvic floor, the low back to press the tailbone down. Pull the head away from the hips. And the biceps pull the knees towards the underarms. Again, the option to gently sway left to right on the pelvis only if that's suitable for your body. Exhale, bring the knees back to the chest. Cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. You're welcome to lower the left foot to the ground and press the right palm to the inner right knee. Make sure the pelvis stays nice and even. Also, an option is to bring the legs in, interlace the hands at the left hamstring, or even lift the left leg up, maybe reaching up for the calf or the peace fingers again around the big toe. The right hand can gently press into the inner right knee, again pressing the back of the pelvis down. When you're ready, exhale into a reclined cow face pose. Wrap the right knee on top of the left. You can either grab the knees or maybe reach a little wider just above the ankle bones, flex the toes in and pull the shins out wide. From here, move into a twist to the left side. If this is too deep for the body, you can always unravel the legs. You can always place a block under the outer legs as well. To realign the spine, move the pelvis a little further to the right. Left hand can stay on top of the right leg and the right arm can reach out to the side. Again, palm face up or down. If it's suitable for the spine, turn the head to the right. When you're ready, navel tones in, legs come back to the center, unravel. Hug the knees in. And now place the left ankle on the right thigh. Again, the same option, left hand presses to the inner left knee, toes flex to the left shin. Grounding the outer right hip down. Same option to bring the legs in as well. Take the awkward finger grip as you interlace the fingers at the hamstring or the shin. The toes flex, the back of the pelvis presses down, the spine stays long. Again, the same option to now lift the right foot up towards the ceiling. The right hand can reach up again, maybe either grabbing for the calf or the big toe. The calf pushes up towards the heel, the hamstring down towards the glute. Left hand can gently press into the inner left knee. Find your breath, let it be deep, moving in and out. Exhale, move into reclined cow face pose, Supta Gomukhasana. Either grab the knees or just above the ankle bones again, toes flex, gently pulling the shins out to the side. Lengthen both side waists evenly. You may need to rotate the right outer hip forwards or the left, notice which is off kilter or offside for you. So now move into the cow face twist or the supine twist. Let the legs drop down over to the right. Move the pelvis further to the left. Left arm can reach wide. Let the breath move in and out. Again, if you're taking Ujjayi breath, drag it in through the nose and drag it out. The right hand can stay on the left leg. If you need to unravel the legs a little further, if it's too deep, please do, or use support from the blocks. Again, staying on either side as long as your body needs. When you are ready, gently toning the navel in, hugging the outer hips and the legs come back to the center. Bring the pelvis back in line with the shoulders and then hug the knees in towards the chest, forehead to knees. Making the tiniest little ball, thanking your body for everything it's done for you today. So you now move into our resting pose of Shavasana. You're welcome here to place blocks under the back of the knees to help gain length in the lower spine. The arms and legs come wide. If possible, the palms face up. Let the eyes close. Let your body get nice and heavy. Let the breath now shallow into the chest. Let the mind float away. Let the mind and the body just be here. Staying here as long as you like, as long as the mind and body asks for. Enjoy your Shavasana. Namaste.